I think next we'd like to hear from Rick Cusick. Rick is the associate producer of High Times Magazine. He's a dear friend of mine, and he was the person that was unfortunately sharing a joint with me at the Boston Freedom Rally.
Allegedly. Allegedly. I've got a lawyer here that's got to make sure I do that. Hi, my name is Rick Cusick.
You've got a lawyer here that tells you to drop the allegedly.
I was getting high. I'll tell you the story about. My name is Rick Cusick, and I am the associate publisher of High Times Magazine. I'll be 54 years old on my next birthday. I was the editor of High Times Magazine for a couple of years. I'm now the associate publisher. I first smoked marijuana when I was 17 years old. I've been smoking it for 37 years. And it has been a blessing in my life. It has afforded me what I consider to be the best job in the world. And so I do a lot of things for High Times. I go out in the field a lot. And on September 15th, 2007, I found myself at the Boston Freedom Rally with my friend Keith Stropp. As we often find ourselves in these situations, we put together our booth. It was the very beginning of the rally, which has happened every year for 17, 18 years now. 19 years now. And the booth was set up, and the people were just starting to come into the park. And Keith said, "You want to go smoke a joint?" And I said, "Sure, let's go do that." So we stepped behind the High Times normal booth, and we thought we were being discreet. There was a little bit of drizzle going on in the air, and we were being very, I thought, discreet about it. But suddenly, a young man, more than half our age, threw a heavy arm upon us and said, "You're arrested." And now I got to tell you, I've smoked marijuana for 37 years, but I've never been arrested in my life. I've never been arrested for anything in my life. I've been waiting for it to happen. I've been a marijuana smoker for 37 years, but I certainly didn't think it was going to happen at the Boston Freedom Rally where I was a speaker. I certainly didn't think it would happen with Keith Stropp, who is one of my heroes in this business, but there it did. It's been my job for the last 10 years, I've been with High Times 10 years, it's been my job to understand the arrest figures. I've never been arrested, but I knew very well on that day what I was entering into. In 2006, 850,000 Americans were arrested in this country for marijuana. Over 700,000 of those Americans were arrested for simple possession, no weight, no dealing, just people like Keith and myself trying to smoke a joint. And 400,000 of those Americans were under 25 years old. So when we talk about Keith and I getting busted on September 15th at the Boston Freedom Rally for smoking a joint, what they found was a third of a joint. It seems like an inconsequential affair. And perhaps it is. A third of a joint isn't much deal in these days. However, you've got to remember those 800,000 people. You've got to remember those 700,000 people who were just trying to smoke a joint. And most importantly, you have to remember 400,000 25-year-old and under who will not be able to get student loans, who will start their lives off, their professional careers off with a criminal record, all because they did what Keith and I did on September 15th, which was smoke a joint. Those are terrible numbers, but there's another set of numbers I'd like you all to consider. 25 million Americans smoke marijuana every year. 15 million Americans smoke marijuana every month, and 5 million Americans smoke marijuana every day in 2008. This is an enormously popular experience in the United States. Over 100 million Americans have smoked marijuana at some time in their lifetimes. We're here in Massachusetts, and as I understand it, across the board, it's about 10% of Massachusetts citizens are marijuana smokers within the course of a given year. Say?
A given month.
It was in a given month. Those are month smokers. 10% of the people in Massachusetts smoke marijuana every month. So now I am arrested. Now I am one of those 800,000. Now I am one of those 700,000, but I am not one of those 400,000. I'm a much older man. And I feel it is incumbent upon me, and it is incumbent upon Keith, for those people who get arrested every month, and for those people who smoke, our brethren, the readers of my magazine, and the people who join NORML, it is incumbent upon us to fight what happened to us. We are obliged to challenge the marijuana laws in Massachusetts because it happened to us then and there. And in a much larger sense, I like to think that we are representing everybody in this country who has been a victim of this unfair law. I am very, very lucky. We are going in to this court situation with some of the best legal counsel available in this country. They've stepped up for us. They're sitting at this table. They've stepped up. And Dr. Grinspoon and other people are serious, serious experts who have come to our defense. And I feel very lucky that that's happening. I feel very strongly that I wish this defense team, I wish the experts that are available to me because of my position would be available to those other 800,000 people, because there is a lot of collateral damage that comes from this unfair law. And hopefully what's going to happen in the next couple of months here in Massachusetts is we're going to challenge that law and take it for a ride. Thank you very much.
There you go.